The desperate call, the crystalline towers of New Cthulhu gleamed under the light of 3 suns, their surfaces reflecting the peaceful harmony that had defined the Cthulhu Confederation for over 10,000 years. Ambassador This moved gracefully through the council chambers, her forearms gesturing elegantly as she addressed the gathered representatives of 47 different species. The daily proceedings were usually routine discussions about trade routes, cultural exchanges, and scientific collaborations. Today was different. The massive viewing screen at the center of the chamber displayed something that made every representative's breathing apparatus work overtime. Star systems across the outer rim were going dark, not from war or natural disaster, but from something far worse. The readings showed planets still intact, still spinning in their orbits, but completely silent. No communications, no energy signatures, no signs of life. Fellow beings of the Confederation, Isis began, her melodic voice carrying across the chamber. We face a crisis unlike any in recorded history. The silent death has returned. A collective gasp echoed through the assembly. The silent death was a legend, a cautionary tale from the early days of galactic civilization. Ancient records spoke of a bioweapon so terrible that entire species had chosen to destroy themselves rather than face it. Most had believed it was just a story, a myth created to warn against the dangers of biological warfare. Dr. Zen, the Confederation's lead xenobiologist, stepped forward. His insectoid features twitched with nervous energy as he activated his holographic display. The pathogen we're seeing matches descriptions from the old archives. It's not a virus or bacteria as we understand them. It's something far more sophisticated, something that rewrites the very essence of biological life. The display showed microscopic footage from the last transmission received from the Alteron system. Odysseus watched in horror as the images revealed the truth about the silent death, officially designated as the Grey Plague. The pathogen didn't kill its victims. Instead, it stripped away everything that made them who they were, leaving behind empty husks that could still move and breathe, but had no consciousness, no personality, no soul. The infected become what our ancestors called the Grey Ones, Dr. Zen continued. They retain basic motor functions and can perform simple tasks, but they lose all higher brain functions, all creativity, all individual thought. They become biological automatons, existing but not truly living. Commander Vass of the Confederation Defense Fleet stood up, his reptilian scales shifting color with agitation. What about our medical technology? Surely we can develop a cure, or at least a vaccine. Dr. Zen's antennae drooped. We've tried everything. The plague adapts to every treatment we develop. It's as if it was specifically designed to counter any biological defense mechanism we might employ. Our greatest medical minds from 12 different species have worked around the clock, but the pathogen stays one step ahead of us. The chamber fell into worried silence as the implications sank in. The Cthulhu Confederation prided itself on being the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. Their medical technology had eliminated disease. Their energy systems powered entire star systems, and their peaceful philosophy had ended wars between dozens of species. If they couldn't stop this plague, who could? Thesis activated another display, showing the current spread of the Grey Plague. 17 systems have gone completely silent. Our long-range sensors show the pattern is accelerating. The plague spreads not just through direct contact, but through some mechanism we don't understand. It appears to jump between star systems. With no physical connection, The ethereal representative, a being of pure energy named Lightweaver, pulsed with distress patterns. Have we considered the possibility that this is an engineered weapon? Something created by an intelligence that understands our biology better than we do ourselves. That's exactly what we fear, Dr. Zen replied. The plague shows signs of artificial design. It's too perfect, too specifically tailored to affect multiple species, despite their biological differences. Someone or something created this to target complex sentient life. Young Captain Kess of the Scout Fleet spoke up from the back of the chamber. What about the precursor ruins we've been studying? Could this be connected to them? The question sent a chill through the assembly. The precursors were an ancient civilization that had vanished millions of years ago, leaving behind only ruins and technology too advanced for modern species to fully understand. Most precursor sites were sealed and studied from a safe distance because their technology was considered too dangerous to actively use. Dr. Zen nodded grimly. We believe the plague originated from a precursor facility in the Void sector. Our archaeological team was studying what they thought was a medical research station. The last transmission we received suggested they had activated something they shouldn't have. Ambassador Dissis felt the weight of her species' survival pressing down on her shoulders. As the diplomatic leader of the Confederation, it was her responsibility to find a solution, but every option seemed to lead to the same conclusion: extinction. We need help, she said quietly. We need to reach out beyond our normal contacts, beyond the civilizations we know and trust. Commander Voss looked puzzled. Reach out to whom? We've already contacted every spacefaring species in this galaxy. The Hegemony, the Trade Consortium, the Academic Alliance. They're all facing the same threat. This is moved to the central console and accessed the deepest levels of the Confederation database. There are records here of other worlds, other species, that we've chosen not to contact for various reasons. Some are too primitive, others too dangerous, and some, she paused as she found what she was looking for. Some are classified as quarantine worlds. The assembly stirred with confusion. Quarantine worlds were a theoretical concept, planets that were considered too dangerous for contact due to environmental hazards, aggressive species, or other factors that made them unsuitable for diplomatic relations. There's one listed here, Dissis continued, her voice growing more excited. A planet called Earth, located in a system they call Sol. It's classified as a Class 12 quarantine world due to extreme environmental conditions and an aggressive dominant species. Dr. Zen accessed his own records. Earth. Yes, I see it. The notation says, Deathworld, extreme caution, advised. Dominant species shows high aggression levels and adaptation to hostile environment, not suitable for contact. The file is over 3,000 years old. What kind of hostile environment? Asked Captain Kess. Dr. Zen read from the ancient survey report. Extreme gravity, violent weather patterns, active tectonics, high radiation exposure, and an ecosystem based entirely on predation and competition. The dominant species, called humans, evolved from persistence hunters and show remarkable adaptation to physical stress and environmental dangers. Lightweaver pulsed with interest. A species that evolved in hostile conditions might have natural resistances we lack. If they survived on a world that actively tried to kill them, they might have biological defenses we never needed to develop. Commander. Vass was skeptical. Even if that's true, the file says they're aggressive. What if we're just trading one threat for another? This has studied the limited data available about Earth. The old survey had been brief and focused mainly on why the planet should be avoided. But between the lines, she could see descriptions of a species that had not only survived in impossible conditions, but had thrived. They had developed technology, art, and complex societies despite facing constant environmental challenges. "Look at this," she said, highlighting a section of the report. "The humans show unprecedented adaptability and innovation in the face of adversity. Their medical knowledge comes from dealing with thousands of different diseases and pathogens. Their technology is described as crude but effective, built to function in extreme conditions." The more she read, the more convinced she became that Earth might be their only hope. Humans had evolved in conditions that would kill most Confederation species within hours. They had built their entire civilization around overcoming seemingly impossible challenges. If any species in the galaxy could find a way to fight the Grey Plague, it would be them. "We're going to send them our distress signal," Thesis announced, "along with all our technical data about the plague and our current situation." Dr. Zen looked worried. "Ambassador, the communication will have to include our location data and technological specifications. If these humans are as aggressive as the old reports suggest, we might be giving them everything they need to find and attack us." Dices looked around the chamber at the representatives of nearly 50 species, all facing extinction from an enemy they couldn't fight. "Dr. Zen, if we don't take this risk, there won't be any of us left to attack. The Grey Plague will make that choice for us." The vote was unanimous. Within hours, the Confederation's most powerful transmitters were focused toward the Sol system. The message was encoded in mathematics and physics, universal languages that any technological species would understand. It contained a desperate plea for help, complete technical specifications of the Grey Plague, and a promise of peaceful contact and technological exchange. As the signal raced across space at faster than light speeds, Dices could only hope that somewhere in the galaxy there was a species crazy enough and tough enough to fight a war against extinction itself. On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen was finishing her night shift at the Arecibo Observatory when her computers detected something impossible. The signal was clearly artificial, clearly intelligent, and unlike anything in SETI's database. As she ran the translation protocols, her hands began to shake. The message was a cry for help from the stars, and it was addressed to Earth. Asterisk, when Deathworlders rise to... Sarah Chen stared at her computer screen for the third time in an hour, unable to believe what she was seeing. The alien message had been translating for 6 hours, and each new section made the situation more terrifying and more incredible. She picked up her phone and dialed a number she never thought she would use. "This is General Morrison." "General, this is Dr. Chen at Arecibo. You need to get down here immediately. We've received a message from space, and it's not what we expected. Dr. Chen, it's 3 in the morning. Unless aliens are landing on the White House lawn, ... Sir, aliens are dying. All of them, and they're asking for our help." 6 hours later, the most classified meeting in human history was taking place in a secure facility beneath NORAD. President Martinez sat at the head of a table, surrounded by the world's top military leaders, scientists, and intelligence officials. The alien message played on screens around the room, translated into a dozen languages. General Morrison spoke first. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing a situation that changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. There's a galactic civilization out there, and it's dying from a plague that makes victims into living zombies." Dr. Chen activated a holographic display showing the technical data from the alien message. "The plague is unlike anything we've ever seen. It's artificial, designed to target complex brain functions while leaving basic biological processes intact. According to their data, it's already consumed 17 star systems. President Martinez leaned forward. And they think we can help them. Why, exactly? Dr. James Wright from the CDC stepped up to the display. Because we're from what they call a death world, Mr. President. Earth is classified in their database as too dangerous for contact. Our immune systems, our medical knowledge, our entire approach to disease comes from surviving in conditions that would kill most of their species. They think we're the scary ones, added Dr. Chen with a slight smile. Their file on us is basically a list of reasons to stay as far away from Earth as possible. High gravity, extreme weather, aggressive predators, and a dominant species that evolved from persistence hunters. Admiral Sarah Blake, head of naval operations, studied the alien ship designs included in the message. These vessels are built for exploration and peaceful contact. I don't see any weapons, systems, or defensive measures. They're completely helpless against any kind of aggressive threat. Air Force General Robert Hayes nodded. That's exactly why they need us. We've been preparing for war since we climbed down from the trees. Every human technology has military applications because we've never had the luxury of true peace. President Martinez walked to the window overlooking the Colorado mountains. So let me understand this correctly. These peaceful aliens want us, the violent species from the dangerous planet, to come save them from space zombies. That's essentially correct, sir, Dr. Chen replied. And if we don't help them, this plague could eventually reach Earth. Dr. Wright consulted his notes. According to their projections, the plague spreads at an exponential rate. If it continues, unchecked, it could consume the entire galaxy within 50 years. Earth would be included in that timeline. The president turned back to the group. Then we don't have a choice. Admiral Blake, I'm authorizing Operation Deathworld. We're going to build humanity's first interstellar fleet. The next 3 months saw the most intensive technological development program in human history. Dr. Chen led the team, reverse engineering alien faster-than-light technology, combining it with human engineering principles that prioritize durability and redundancy over elegance. The aliens build their ships like works of art, she explained to her team. We're going to build ours like tanks. Captain Marcus Webb oversaw the construction of the EU's Resilience, humanity's first interstellar warship. The ship looked nothing like the graceful alien vessels. It was angular, heavily armored, and bristling with weapons. Systems adapted from alien technology, but designed with human military doctrine. She's not pretty, Webb said, looking at the completed ship, but she's built to survive anything the universe can throw at her. Dr. Elena Rodriguez led the medical team studying the alien plague data. Her background in virology and immunology gave her insights that the peaceful aliens had never considered. The plague is sophisticated, but is designed to attack biological systems that evolved in safe environments. Human immune systems are different. We evolved fighting diseases that were actively trying to kill us. The crew selection process was intense. Captain Webb chose specialists from every branch of the military and scientific community. Marine Sergeant Jake Harrison would lead the combat team. Dr. Rodriguez would head the medical unit and engineer. Lisa Park would manage the hybrid human-alien technology systems. We're about to become the first humans to travel to the stars. Webb addressed his crew of 200. We're going to meet alien civilizations and fight an enemy that has destroyed species, millions of years older than us. But remember, we're from Earth. We're survivors. The EU's Resilience launched from lunar orbit on a Tuesday morning. Its faster-than-light drive tearing a hole in space itself. The journey to the Cthulhu Confederation would take 2 weeks, during which the crew prepared for scenarios no human had ever faced. When they arrived at New Cthulhu, the sight that greeted them was heartbreaking. The beautiful crystal cities were dark and silent. Alien ships drifted in orbit, their crews presumably converted into grey ones. Only a few vessels showed signs of life, broadcasting weak distress signals. Ambassador Visis appeared on the Resilience's communication screen, her forearms trembling with exhaustion and desperation. "Species of Earth, you came. We did not dare hope that anyone would answer our call." Captain Webb stepped forward. "Ambassador, we received your message. We're here to help." "You do not understand the danger," Thesis replied. "The Grey Plague converts any complex biological life it encounters. Your crew will be infected within hours of exposure." Dr. Rodriguez joined the conversation. "Ambassador, we've analyzed your data about the plague. We believe humans may have natural immunity. Impossible. No species has shown resistance to the Great Death." "No species from safe worlds," Webb corrected. "Earth is what you call a death world. We evolved fighting diseases, parasites, and biological weapons that most species never encountered. Our immune systems are designed for war." The first test came when the Resilience approached a drifting Cthulhu science vessel. Scans showed the ship was crawling with the Grey Plague, its crew converted into mindless husks. Against all protocols of galactic civilization, Captain Webb ordered a boarding action. Sergeant Harrison led a team of Marines onto the infected ship, wearing environmental suits that seemed primitive compared to alien technology but were built to protect humans from Earth's most hostile environments. Inside the alien vessel, they found the crew. The Grey Ones were exactly as described in the alien files. They moved with basic coordination, performing simple maintenance tasks, but their eyes were empty of intelligence or awareness. When they noticed the human intruders, they showed no fear, no curiosity, no reaction at all beyond a mild interest in approaching the newcomers. "Contact," Harrison reported over his radio. "Grey Ones are approaching our position. They don't seem hostile, just ... empty." Dr. Rodriguez monitored the team's biological readings from the Resilience. No signs of infection. Exposure to the plague organism is confirmed, but no conversion symptoms detected. The implications were staggering. Humans were naturally immune to a bioweapon that had destroyed entire civilizations. The Grey Plague, designed to affect species that evolved in safe, controlled environments, had no effect on immune systems forged in Earth's biological warfare. Over the following days, human teams boarded dozens of infected ships, documenting the plague's effects and gathering samples. Dr. Rodriguez worked around the clock, analyzing the pathogen with tools and techniques that the peaceful aliens had never considered. "The plague is incredibly sophisticated," she reported to Captain Webb, "but it has a fatal flaw. It assumes that biological systems are organized the way alien life evolved, in harmony with their environment. Human biology is different. We're built to fight off invasion. Can you develop a cure?" "Better than that. I can develop a vaccine using human immune system components. The plague can't adapt to our responses because it was never designed to face them." The breakthrough came when Dr. Rodriguez isolated the specific human antibodies that neutralized the Grey Plague. By synthesizing these antibodies and adapting them for alien biology, she created a treatment that could reverse the plague's effects. The first test subject was a young Cathora engineer who had been converted 3 days earlier. Dr. Rodriguez administered the experimental treatment while Captain Webb and Ambassador Vissers watched nervously. For 2 hours, nothing happened. Then the engineer's eyes began to focus, and awareness slowly returned. Where am I? The engineer asked, the first words spoken by a plague victim in months. Within weeks, human medical teams were traveling throughout Confederation space, administering the cure to millions of Grey Ones and vaccinating healthy populations. The plague that had threatened to consume the galaxy was stopped by immune systems evolved on a world that had been trying to kill its timed inhabitants for millions of years. The grateful aliens offered humanity membership in the Galactic Confederation, along with access to technologies that would transform Earth into a paradise. But Captain Webb and his crew had learned something important during their time among the stars. "We appreciate the offer," Webb told the assembled alien leaders, "but we've realized something. Earth isn't a prison we need to escape from. It's the training ground that made us strong enough to save you." Ambassador Vissers looked puzzled. "But surely you want to leave your dangerous world behind." Dr. Rodriguez smiled. "Earth didn't make us dangerous, Ambassador. It made us survivors. And the galaxy is a big, scary place that's going to need survivors." Humanity returned to Earth changed by their experience among the stars. They had proven that sometimes the qualities that make you seem dangerous to others are exactly the qualities needed to protect them. The Deathworlders had answered the call for help, and in doing so, had found their place in the larger universe as the US Resilience settled into Earth orbit. Captain Webb looked down at the blue and green world that had forged his species in fire and adversity. It wasn't the safest planet in the galaxy, but it was home, and it had made them exactly what the galaxy needed: survivors, willing to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. The age of human expansion into the stars had begun, not through conquest, but through the simple act of answering a cry for help. Earth's children would take their place among the cosmic community, bringing with them the greatest gifts their harsh world had given them: resilience, ingenuity, and the courage to face the impossible.